Check it out. Pretty cool, isn't it? All right. A little bit of guitar to get us started off with the show. If you guys are just tuning in off the live, if you're watching after hours, after I put this up, hey, thanks for watching. Hey, like the live and send me a comment. Maybe I'll talk about some stuff in the future for next episode of the live stream. So, yeah, if you want to ask me questions ahead of time, go for it, dude. I would love to answer questions ahead of time. Well, I'll tell you what. We're talking about some guitar and stuff. Yeah, where's everybody at? What's going on here? This is strange. I wonder if there's something wrong with the stream. We usually have at least one person at the very beginning of the stream. Oh, yeah, maybe it's because I'm using the other streaming software. Profile. Let's check this out. Yeah, I think something's wrong. Well, we'll see. Oh, we got a couple people. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Let me see something here. Does it say I'm live? Yeah, it says I'm live now. That's weird. Klaus, hello. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. We're just talking about guitar, music, streaming. If you got any questions, go ahead and let me know. This is a very bizarre stream. I don't know what's going on here, man. Well, I'll tell you guys what. I was posting some videos earlier today, and I haven't looked at the comments yet, but I have a feeling at least one of the comments will be something interesting about the videos. Klaus says, you also sing? I do, buddy. Yeah, I have a whole other channel where I play music and guitar, and I sing and do all that stuff. On the other channel, I don't do it on this one. This one's my advice channel. So if you guys have any questions about guitar or music or streaming and things like that, let me know. This is my second channel. So, yeah, I'd like to give advice. A lot of people try to ask me questions during the concerts and stuff and while I'm playing live, and it's just like, I can't answer your questions, man. I'm playing music. So it's really funny how that works. So. Zoe says, hey, Pat, how are you? I'm doing great, dude. I put out a video earlier today. I got another video I'm going to post tomorrow on this channel. A whole bunch of other stuff. I finally got my teleprompter. I got a teleprompter. So if you don't know, when you're trying to actually read off a script, it's really annoying when you can see the person's eyes scanning a script and they're like slightly down. So it's very distracting. You like to look right at the camera, that kind of thing. So I got a teleprompter to help me out with that. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And before anybody says, oh, teleprompters are lame, no, it makes sense. The whole idea is that when you're trying to get your thoughts and your ducks in a row, that whole thing, you want to make sure you write everything out ahead of time. That way you have a concise and clear message. And a lot of times when you're just kind of speaking straight off the dome, you can kind of miss details, you can kind of misspeak about things, and you want to make sure you're very clear and precise. And a lot of times when you're trying to make a video, you're going to screw some things up. You're going to have some words that come out weird. So you want to make sure you get everything right. So teleprompters help out with that, making sure your thoughts are lined up. It's one of those kind of behind-the-scenes movie magic sort of things where you have to give yourself the biggest opportunity, the biggest chance to say the right things and have your ideas completely clear. So that's why people use teleprompters. It's kind of weird, but hey, it works. So Klaus sent a €5 donation. Dude, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate that. You guys have no idea. Klaus says, what do you think about Kyle Gass? Kyle from Tenacious D. He's pretty cool, dude. He's got some really good guitar playing. He's got some good ideas. They're more of a comedy duo, him and Jack Black. So it's pretty fun how that works. But I don't know. He hasn't really made anything new, Tenacious D. They haven't really made anything new recently, right? Their whole thing, everybody's last time they heard about Tenacious D was when Jack Black was like, no politics! And then Kyle Gass was like, assassinations! It was like, whoa! So that was a pretty funny kind of splintering. But at the same time, it's like, oh, pretty serious, too. See, that's the thing, is that when you work together with people and you have differing opinions about certain things, even if you agree on what the message is, you might not agree on how you spread your messages, things like that. So it was very funny to see everybody get mad at Jack Black for kind of backpedaling something. And it's like, if you'd have talked to Jack Black probably 20 years ago, he'd be going crazy. So I don't know. But that's about it. That's all I have to say about them. I mean, I haven't really listened to them since I was a kid, and they're still funny. They just, haven't really done anything recently besides their little goofy political joke stunt that they did, which was just completely backfired. So, anyways, that's all I got to say. What do you think about Kyle Gass? You a big fan, or are you just making a joke about how I kind of have a Jack Black thing going on right now? You know what I mean? What do you think? I want to know what you think, bud. Anybody else in the chat got a question? Let me know. Hey, guitar, music, streaming. And if you guys are entertained, tap that screen. Don't forget to tap it, just because YouTube and all the other algorithms appreciate you for watching. But if you're not interacting, they don't know if you're a bot or not. So it's really funny how that works. Yeah, really quiet crowd. You guys are just watching, aren't you? Ah, come on. Let me get a question. Let me answer something for you. WD says, good evening, all. You're not going to be here long? Okay, that's fine, dude. You can pop in, pop out. That's how it usually works. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Did anybody see the video I put out recently? I put out a little clip from my last live stream where I was talking about how certain guitar players are kind of, quote, faking their guitar playing, unquote. It's pretty funny how that works. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's enough of them to where it's become like a meme. Like people say Instagram guitar players. And what they do, if you didn't see the video, is that they just basically in my opinion, overproduce and re-record everything and edit their guitar playing, which is like, on one hand, and I say this in the video, it's like people try to get the best take. People try to make sure their music is perfect. You go from the Beatles to like System of a Down to any band in the world. They do multiple takes. They edit things. I'm out of tune here. Can we fix that? So there's a lot of bands out there that edit their stuff. Makes sense. But they also don't fake live footage. So that's where it gets kind of like, oh, is that what's going on? Yes. So there's a lot of people out there that are faking live footage, and it's like, come on, man. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to do that. It's really bizarre how that works. Like you can be a electronic music producer. You can do that. Nobody's going to get mad at you. Like you can just press play. But when you pretend to play the guitar parts on video and things, that's when people kind of go, what are you doing? But there's a fine line. You guys think, anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody know any guitar players that do that, where they just kind of, not in, too many different ways. They lip sync, essentially. They lip sync. Because I know what miming is. If you don't know what miming is where you record a guitar part and then you completely mute yourself and then you play along to that guitar part, right? People do that for videos because it makes it easier to record the guitar part and then get the video. Makes sense. But the question is like, did you actually play that? Or did you just like completely reverse engineer how to play the part and then pretend to play it? You know what I mean? Like, could you actually play that theoretically? I always like to kind of, what's the word? Compare it to someone using hacks in a video game. It's like, could you actually do this? Is this humanly possible? And for a lot of those like Instagram guitar players, no, it's not humanly possible to play it like that. You could play something similar, but you're never going to hit those exact notes, that exact and that precise every time. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it have been more impressive to hear it as is than edited anyways? Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I'm all for people editing stuff. Like if you want to get, like here, I'll show you guys an example of somebody using software to get something so perfect. It's pretty interesting. This is with video games. Does anyone know what a TAS is? Tool Assisted Speedrun. Does anyone know what a TAS is? Mario 64. These are always super cool. So I'll pull this up. This is because these are cool, but seeing somebody do it in person is like, whoa, that's insane. So let me pull this up. If you guys have never heard of a tool assisted speed run, let me see this. I'm going to pull this up. I'll skip ahead real quick. You'll see how somebody plays a video game. You're just going to be like, whoa, that's insane. How did they do that? So here we go. We got where's my browser here? I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's see, window capture. There we go. So you guys will be able to see this. And it's not that it's unimpressive. It's just it's a different kind of flavor, right? So watch this guy. I'll turn that down. Whoa. So watch this guy move. It's going to be insane. See, a human already can't do that, right? We're already at the point where a human can't do that. Watch this. What? See, that's cool. It's like, whoa, how did he do that? So here's what's going on. Let me explain what this is. So there's a person that's programming a computer frame by frame data to try and manipulate the computer in the game to doing things. And it's just like, what? That's cool. But if somebody pretended they were doing this live, you'd be like, what the? That's not cool. You're not doing that because speedrunners do that all the time. They have all these cool techniques that they do. And I'll let it play in the background a little bit. But see, he already got a star. You fell through the floor. That's insane. So, again, the point I'm trying to make here is that when somebody uses tools like, audio software to manipulate the song, that's not offsides. That's not against the rules. People do that. The question is, are you being honest about it? Are you showing that you're doing that? Are you making it seem like you're not? That was what the whole video was about. So if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It's very short. It's like maybe 3 minutes long. It's very short if you guys want to watch. But I talked about it yesterday in depth. So if you haven't seen it, that's okay. But, yeah, you guys can check it out. But, yeah, I also have another video that's coming out talking about counterfeits. If you anybody familiar with counterfeit guitars, this is something I've been in the works for a while, but I finally got a teleprompter to redo some footage from it because you can see me like reading, and it's like, that's lame. So, WD says, Patrick, how do you end up with Jeff Bridges Breedlove? I found it used. It was just at a guitar shop. I just saw it and I was like, how much is this? $400. I was like, why is this $400? And the guy who bought it in, he didn't really know what it was. He kind of did, but he didn't. But there's a kind of a flaw with this. You can't see it, but there's a crack in the back of the wood, like right here. So when they really shouldn't technically have bought it in, but I got a good deal on it. So if you get the light to reflect, hold on, let me see if I can get the light to reflect on the back. So there we go. You can see there's a crack in the wood right there. You can't really see it unless you have like something. Yeah, see it right there? See it kind of like, yeah, so the back of the wood is cracked. So it's not terrible. It's not like it sounds bad, but it's just going to get worse. So I got it for a pretty good deal, and I was like, okay, cool. So, usually these go for a bit more, but I was able to be like, yeah, I'm not paying that. It's like, that thing's damaged. You guys probably shouldn't have bought it in, but it seems like it works fine. But yeah, any kind of structural damage like that is just going to get worse. It's not like you can just go to some, like they could probably glue it on the inside or something. I don't know. But it's a costly repair. So most shops, they don't do repairs. If you ever go to a guitar shop, you ever thinking about selling a guitar, unless it's like absurdly valuable, we're talking like thousands of dollars. Most guitar shops will just pass on stuff like that because they don't want to do the repair. They don't want to have to fix stuff. They want it to be in and out of the store as fast as possible. So that's the whole point of buying used guitars. They want it to be for cheap, high turnaround. They don't want it to sit for a long time. So if you're ever thinking about selling your guitar at a guitar shop or going somewhere to sell it, just keep in mind they're going to like skip over anything that needs a repair. So like if you're like, oh, my neck is just cracked a little bit, they're going to be like, no, we don't want that. Yeah, because if you think about it too, when anybody shows up and goes to a shop, they're wanting something to be like new or as good a condition as possible. I mean, but to be fair, if you go to any guitar shop online, let's see if we can find one. Guitar Center is kind of notorious for buying stuff they're not supposed to buy, which is actually where I got this. But let me see if we can find one, because I know that there was a Heritage guitar that I was just like appalled at the condition. And I put it in my video about used guitars. So if you haven't seen that video about used guitar buying, go check it out. But let me see, Heritage guitar. Let's see if we can find it here. Pull it up on this website, on Guitar Center's thing. So we'll go to the used section. Here we go, condition. Oh, wait, you can't see my mouse. There it is. You can see the used section right there. Hopefully it's still there, but it's a Sunburst custom. There it is. It's still there. Probably because they're asking like almost they're asking over $2,000 for this guitar in this pretty terrible condition. Like, look at this thing. Look at all the scratches. This thing is in terrible shape. It's this isn't like, oh, I used this for a long time. This thing's in bad condition. Look at the neck, dude. Here's a good example of being looked bad. Look at how scratched up that is, dude. That thing is terrible. Terrible. Oh, it's awful. Marty says, so are you? Oh, Marty, what's up, dude? I heard you had a guitar come out recently, man. There was a custom shop, Gibson. We were talking about that the other day, dude. Man, look at this thing. It's all scratched up, and it looks like it's just been through a meat grinder. But they're asking, I mean, is the tuner damaged too? Hold on, let me look at this. Well, people just don't take care of it. A lot of times people just think they're built like tanks, and they're really not. They're pieces of wood. So, yeah, it looks like they replaced a tuner, or it's like completely faded or something happened with that. Looks like the same one, but yeah, if you look at it, you could also see like the seams showing on the neck, or it looks like it at least. So that looks like a three-piece neck. Those aren't supposed to be. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. But, yeah, so they're not supposed to buy guitars in that condition. And here's what's funny, too. I think they put it as good condition. They have like 4 conditions. They have like excellent, very good, and fair. Nobody really wants to buy a fair condition guitar unless it's like for a good price. But anyways, bottom line is, yeah, there's guitars they're not supposed to buy. And yeah, see, it's in good condition. See right there? Like, what? That's a terrible condition. Are you out of your mind? That's insane. So yeah, there's a bunch of people that buy guitars and those they get quick. They got to do it fast. They don't care about how much money it makes. They care about how much money it makes. They don't care about if it goes to a good home or something like that. So when you're buying used, yeah, you know what I mean, good condition. So when you buy used online, that's why you got to pay attention to stuff like that. Because look at this one. Let me see. This one's it's in great, not very good. It's great. It's excellent, great, good, and fair. So, yes, they did. I don't know what they're thinking sometimes, man. And here's the other thing. I've worked at guitar shops, so I understand that point of view of, dude, it doesn't matter. Just throw it online. You know what I mean? But, see, this one is in, let's find another, quote, good condition. See if we can find another one. A lot of these are in great and excellent. So, Vlad says, you Americans are fantastic. I'm Brazilian, but I love the USA. You guys love rock and roll. Shout out to Brazil. You guys are always showing up on my show. It's very fun. Okay, here we go. Here's another good condition. So these are technically supposed to be in the same condition class, right? I don't see a single scratch on this thing. It looks like there's a little bit right up here. That's like, you can't even tell. It's like barely there. Anything else? Any other major scratches? What else we got here? Yeah, this thing's like new. So I don't know what they're doing sometimes. Look, there's nothing on the neck. So whatever's going on, that was just obviously somebody just wanted to get out on a Friday kind of situation. So it's very funny. But then you look at vintage models. Here's the difference, though. Remember I was talking about they don't do repairs. They don't buy stuff that's damaged unless it's worth a ton of money. So if you go to the vintage section, let's look up a vintage. Let's see if they got any 1952 Tellys, which are arguably one of the most expensive guitars out there. One of them. Not the most, but let's see if they got a vintage one. So we'll go to, again, we're just checking out Guitar Center just because it's kind of available right now. But if you go to Reverb, there's plenty more. But all right, here we go. Here's a 1952 Les Paul. That's pretty cool. It's got the trapeze tailpiece. We'll check this out. We'll look at that later. So if you, it's just sitting there on their terrible carpet. I remember when they installed that carpet. Okay, so here's a great example. You know how I said, okay, so this is all yellowed and damaged looking. It doesn't look great. It's a 70-year-old guitar, 73-year-old guitar, right? That thing is old. So this is not bad. You know what I mean? Like this, like it looks bad, but it's vintage. It's going to age. So arguably, this is not in excellent condition if it was like a new guitar, something in the past 10, 15, 20 years. But considering this guitar is ancient, that's pretty cool. You could see a lot of wear and like dirt and grime. So it looks like somebody played this, dude. Look at that, in between the frets. You see all this nastiness? Because the fretboard is supposed to look more like this fret. It's supposed to have this kind of reddish brown wood color. That's the rosewood. So when you look at the neck, and it has like all this kind of discoloring. There's like dust. Dude, somebody play this. Look at the frets. The frets are kind of dingy. They're not like that nice looking kind of chroming nickel or something like that. So, yeah, it's all relative. But, I mean, this guitar is better condition than that Heritage. So I don't know what's going on here, man. And there's a little bit of wear here from like belt buckle. Like just a little bit. Or just like rubbing against somebody's pants or their shirt for 50 years. So it's really not that bad. Let's see if there's any neck repairs on it. Nah, it doesn't look like it. There's a little thing right here, but I don't think that's a neck repair. But you can see the wings. They have to glue the wings on of the headstock. It doesn't just come in one piece. And notice that there's like no serial number on there, dude. It's completely worn off. It's pretty interesting. So, WD says, did I mention to you I purchased my Telecaster back for the price I sold it? Really? You brought it back? Buyer's remorse, seller's remorse. Very interesting. Well, I'm glad you got it back. Any other guitars I should look up? Anything else? Anyone else see a used guitar and they went, what? I'll tell you what. One of my favorite guitars to look at is the Les Paul Classic. Let me pull this up because there's so many different versions of it, but the earlier models are excellent. Really big fan of the Les Paul Classic. Those are pretty cool. Ben says, best Les Paul style guitar or a more interesting Telecaster style for under $300. You want a budget one? Oh, man. Harley Benton makes some good stuff. Firefly makes some good stuff for under $300. I mean, if you're going under $300, it's not as bad as it used to be. I'll give you an example. Hold on. That's a great question. So hold on. Let me pull this up. Let's look at Epiphone, which is one of my least favorite brands. Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. So those will be about like $200 less. Yeah, see, here you go. Here's a Les Paul Special 2. $219 down from $267. Yeah, right, buddy. So if you look at these used, oh, that's so funny, dude. Look, they have ones for like $300. Get out of town. Yeah, $200 less. That's what you're looking at for Les Paul Special 2. So let's just look at this for a second. Let's just look at a typical one. This one's from Manchester, Connecticut. This is an older one. Interesting. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit of thing. Oh, look at the rainbow strings. Some nerd was playing it. Okay, so let me show you something about Epiphones real quick. And then we'll look at Harley Benton and Firefly. So if you look at this, see how this has like Les Paul Special 2? Sometimes you'll it looks like, yeah, it'll say like Gibson on there. If it said Gibson, that would be one of the older Korean ones. But it's got the 3 screws right here, so it's probably one of the more modern ones. But anyways, yeah, I thought it was one of the vintage ones. Vintage, one of the earlier Epiphones. So if you look at it, you got the dot inlays, pretty inexpensive to put in. The body is like this flat. It's like an acoustic. It's just flat on the top. Most Les Pauls have a carved top, so it's like a little bit of a violin shape. It's rounder. Has a little bit of a better ergonomic feel to it. It's only got a single volume, single tone pickup selector. So this is, I would give this an okay. Like if you bought this, whatever, no big deal. But for $200 for the same price, and this has a bolt-on neck too. Let me point that out. So there's a bolt on there. So see, that's like a Fender. If you're buying a Les Paul, people just don't like bolt-ons. It's just it's kind of weird. It's like seeing a GM logo or like a Chevy logo on a Ford. It's like that's weird. So, anyways, but you could buy this for $200-ish bucks, or you could buy. Let's look at Firefly, dude. Firefly has some really cool models. Here we go. We said $200, right around there. Let's see. These are 300, 300, 400, 300, 400, which is funny because these are not as expensive new. So let me see here. We want to see $200. Oh, they have a double neck. That's cool. Look at that thing. It's got a base. For $800, whew, that's a little expensive, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going. What do we got here? Okay, for $300. Okay, here we go. For a little bit more, and obviously that's a third more, but the one we were looking at was $240. For a bit more, you could get this. Let's see here. So it's got a look at these pictures. I love how they're like, we're going to take better pictures of our used equipment. They just use AI on the background. But let's see here. This one doesn't look like it's in great condition. It's a little dirty, a little funky. But yeah, you get a carved top. You can see there's a bit of a carve here. So it's not a flat top. You get the full wiring. You get the double volume, double tone. You get a nicer top. You get the trapezoid inlays. You get like a binding situation going on. Better color. Looks better for about the same price. Let's see if we can find one for $200. I'm thinking we can. Oh, here we go. $250 right here. Watch this. Yeah, dude, for $10 more. Look at that. You get the trapezoids. You get all this. That's what I'm saying, dude. There's better guitars out there for cheaper now. Oh, you got to get the green, though. You got to get the chameleon green. And then it's red on the back. Oh, I don't know if that's a great color combo. But if you could stomach the color, hey, you got a great guitar there. And it's got the set neck, too. Look at that. Like Firefly, Epiphone is really just dragging its feet as far as giving people what they want for the price. Again, $250. And I played these. These are actually not so bad, dude. I like them. Let me put it this way. If somebody said, hey, Pat, could I get a Firefly or should I get an Epiphone? I'd be like, oh, dude, get the Firefly. You get more money for your for the equipment and stuff. Here's another one. This one looks cooler. I think so. Terrible taste, though. What's up with the green knob? Somebody was colorblind. But you get the gold hardware. That's pretty nice. I think it looks pretty sick. This one's $300. This one looks like you get a flame top, a veneer. I don't think that looks too bad, dude. Whoops. I don't think that looks too... What am I grabbing? Here, there we go. I don't think that looks too bad. I mean, obviously the colors, you just get some different knobs. You change those two knobs, you're fine, dude. You are fine. Zoe says, is Epiphone like Squier, but by Gibson? You are 100% correct. So let me explain how this works. So when you're looking at guitars, Fender and Gibson are the parent companies, but they were getting their butts kicked back in the 70s and the late 60s because of Chinese and Japanese factories, mostly Japan. They were making copies. Like Ibanez used to make guitars that were just like all the way out there and really strange. Ben says, thanks so much for this, bro. How about the Harley Ben? I like those too, man. The single cut 500s, the SCs. I like them, dude. You should go. I would buy used from like a Guitar Center or something like that where you can return it just in case you don't like it. But they're cheaper and they're better, in my opinion. They're hungry, man. They're hungry for business. Just like Ibanez was. So we'll look at an Ibanez lawsuit era. This is what they used to call them. The lawsuit era. So let me make this a little bit smaller real quick so we can see it. If you've never listened, like Ibanez's history, they weren't always metal guitars. So if you look at the lawsuit era, check this out, man. Look at the headstocks. Gibson much? So before Epiphone became Gibson's like foreign-made, cheaper stuff, you had Ibanez making these like pretty dang good copies. And they weren't totally like counterfeit. They were like very similar. But the idea is there's tons of stuff out there. No problem, Ben. I like to do this before my my main music show. I like to give advice and talk about stuff. Okay, here we go. Look at this Les Paul looking guitar. That looks great. It's got a flame. It's got a flame on it, dude. Yeah, so basically they're getting their butts kicked by people like Ibanez. And so they said, what do we do? And they thought of a brilliant idea, which was, how about we make our own foreign-made company and just build stuff over there, and then we could just get the money. And that's what they did. So Squire was created for like beginner guitar players and then more inexpensive stuff. And then Epiphone, same idea. It's the same designs, but made quicker and faster and cheaper. But here's the problem. So a lot of other companies now, like Indonesia, China, Vietnam, India, there's a lot of companies out there that are making their own guitars that are very similar. But because there's no parent company, there's no Fender, there's no Gibson, there's no PRS, there's nobody taking like the extra money, then they can just build a better guitar for cheaper. And it's a pretty good design. Like I have a Harley Benton actually right here. I bought it because I'd never played one. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. I want to know if this is worth my money or not, because a lot of people talking about this. So I'll show you guys. So I'm not paid by Harley Benton, anything like that. I'm not saying these are the best guitars in the world either. I like them. They're good for the money, but that doesn't mean they're like the best guitars I've ever owned. However, if somebody said, hey man, I have $200 to $300, should I go out and buy an Epiphone? I'd be like, I think you should at least try and find a Firefly or a Harley Benton. I like them. I like them a lot. They're for less money, but you get more bang for your buck. Is this thing perfect? No. Do not expect the best guitar in the world. The tuners on this thing, not very good. They're okay. They barely get the job done. For example, I'll give you another example. The output jack, the metal that they used is the most terrible Chinesium quality, like questionable metal alloys I've ever seen. But you know what? The guitar feels and sounds great, but don't expect it to last a long time. You're going to have to probably replace some parts. But for the money that you save, it makes sense. So I'll just play this for a second just so you guys can hear it. But I like it. I really do. Armis says, is the Marshall MS2 a good value for 33 euros? For 33 euros? I'm not sure about if it's a good value, but let me check and see what it is. I just know Marshalls tend to not be $33. You know what I mean? It sounds like a guitar. It sounds great. The neck is really comfortable. They put the money where it mattered. Does that make sense? See, it sounds like a guitar. You get that? And before anyone says, yeah, but you just buy cheap stuff, you don't know anything about good guitars. Hold on a second, Chief. I have my Les Paul Custom. This is a legit one. I bought one. I've had it for close to 15 years now. And we're going to listen to it. Still sounds like a guitar, man. But here's the difference between this and that. When you're playing a guitar that's more expensive, I mean, obviously there's going to be little finer details. Is it worth it to you? Probably not. But is it worth it to me because I like it? Yeah, I like it. Did I spend anywhere close to what this is worth? No. I bought it used. It needed repairs. And I got it. So. He's got two Les Pauls? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But Armis says it's like a tiny belt clip amp. Oh, dude, don't buy that. That sounds like trash. That sounds like a gimmick. I mean, if you want to buy it, I don't think it's a, quote, a good deal. I mean, you could probably buy something else. What are you buying a belt clip amp for? You don't got headphones? You don't use a computer? What are you going to use it for? That sounds crazy. How much are they new? They can't be more than $50. I don't think it's bad, but it's not like, why would you want to buy one? But Kath, yes, I remember you. Hello, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, I was going to say, I've been doing earlier shows on this because I do my music on my other channel, and I can't have time to talk to people because people always ask me questions. Pat, what gear do I use? Pat, what strings do you got? Pat, what do I do with this? Patrick, I don't know what to do. Patrick, how do you get your cool sounds? So I always enjoy that. But I can't really answer questions. Arma says my first amp. Oh, no. Don't stay away from that. If you have only $30 to your name, then okay. You can find, here, we're going to find an amp for you, buddy. You in the United States? Where are you from? We're going to find an amp right now that's worth it. Okay? All right, pal? We're going to go to a Guitar Center, not because I like them, but because they have a good used section online. We're going to look up, let's see here, Mustang LT25. We're going to pull this. What's your budget? How much money you got, pal? What are we looking at? You let me know. Also, Ben, I got 2 Les Pauls. That's why I was like, oh, 2. I actually have more, but I just don't use them on the show. I'll use my 2 Les Pauls that I like on the show. So I have other guitars around my house. I don't put them on the show. But all right, I'm going to assume let's say you got $100. Let's just assume you got $100 at the most. This guitar amp is $170 new. You can find them all over the place used. They're everywhere. They're a very popular amp. Let me explain why this is a good amp. I talk about this amp all the time because it's phenomenal for the money. So let's see here. We got this is all the knobs and buttons. Here's all you got to pay attention to. Ready? Here's what you need. I didn't think you were a single Les Paul guy. Dude, my man. Dude, Ben, come here. Come here. Let me get one of these. Thank you so much. I'm actually a big Fender guy, but I like Les Pauls. All right, back to this. So if you look at this little kind of topography of the amp, we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Headphones. Perfect. You're playing at home. Your mom's making cookies in the kitchen, and she's mad at you because she keeps hearing a Crazy Train play it out of tune. Put some headphones on, dog. Got you covered. So you can play it on headphones. Your family will be saved. And then you have your gain knob for how much rock and roll it is. You have your volume for how loud you want it to be. Treble, bass, don't worry about that as much. You got your master volume just in case you change a channel. This is exactly how loud it is, and you can tell that is the maximum volume because it's the bigger knob. So really what you're paying attention to is how rock and roll, how loud, and then here's the really cool knob. So if you look, there's a little screen there. So what it does is every number there's a channel. And so if you want your Metallica sound in one channel, boom, it's in there. If you want a Come As You Are sound in there, you just click this over, boop, and that says number 2, and you can save it. Whole bunch of options in there. This is technology they've had for the past 10, 15 years. However, the reason the Mustang is so good is because it is so easy to use. You have one knob that pretty much does everything you need. Arma says Metallica. There's a Metallica setting in that amp. I promise you. It's called like thrash metal or something. It's called like Master of Thrash. They can't call it Metallica because they can't copyright. They don't want to get Metallica involved in all that stuff. They don't want to give them money. So they call it like thrash or something. But it's in there. It's in that amp. So if you're looking for an amp and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you said 33 euros. So let's go back here. Let's see if we can find a used one because these are like pretty bulletproof amps. Let's see what the most inexpensive LT20. $100! What did I say? $100, buddy. I know it sounds like a ton of money, but if you're looking at $33 for that M2, you're going to get the M2. Don't buy that. You're going to regret it, dude. I'm going to tell you, spend a little bit more. And if you can't afford 100 euros, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm sure there's more inexpensive amps like the Line 6 Spider, which is like the older version, which still works. It still is good. You can get a Spider 3. So let me see here. Oh, why did it show me a Squier Mustang? That's funny. Here we go. Let me just look up. I put up Mustang Line 6. Whoops. Let's look at that. Let's pull this up. See if we can get I bet you $50. Here we go. $40 right there. Do not buy that, Marshall. That is a belt clip amp. Don't buy it. At least get something that has like a built-in tuner. Has a built-in effect. That way you can mess around with it and have fun. You know what I mean? This is a great amp. It's older, but it's good. Do not buy the MS2. You will regret it. You'll spend $30 for no reason. Get something that's a full-size amp. That way, at least, you have options to mess around. Yeah. Do they even buy those? Yeah, buy them used. Amps are pretty bulletproof. Like, when you get a solid-state amp like this, they're either broken or they're working. Very few times do you get an amp that's like just, not in good shape. especially those. So yeah, take care of yourself, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate it. Do yourself a favor. Do not buy that amp. Get something good. Line 6, Spider. See if you can find one of those. And then what else? We had another question here. It was Zoe saying, dude, a good amp is much better investment. Yeah, thank you for backing me up there. Yeah, so Hunter says, I need a guitar. What's the best one for me? What do you like? We were talking about this just yesterday, man. I don't have your hands. I don't have your ears. So I don't know what you like or what you don't like. Yeah, dude, Armis, go Facebook Marketplace. All right, you sound like a lost soul, dude. I'm sorry. If you're going to Facebook Marketplace, let me explain. There's no return policy. You can't buy it and give it back. Like, you're stuck with it. Go look at GuitarCenter.com. Go look at that website. There's used stuff all over the place. You can return it. If you buy it and you're not happy with it, you can return it. Go to that website. Or you can go to there's a couple other ones, but go to that one. There's probably a Guitar Center near you. And I don't even like Guitar Center that much. Like, they're okay. They get the job done. So, you don't have a Guitar Center in your country? Oh, that's right. You said Euro. That's right. My bad. Well, look at some shops near you. Don't go to Facebook Marketplace. You buy it, you're stuck with it. So make sure you have a return policy. Make sure you take care of yourself. I have a video on how to buy used equipment if you want to watch it. It's a half-hour long video, but it goes super in-depth on what to look for and stuff with guitars especially. But Kat says, hey, Pat, I just wanted to say I'm still loving Finals. Hey, that's my band. And you're in my top 5 bands. Pretty cool. Thank you so much. All right, you said, what guitar are we talking about, though? Ben says it's a shame there's no good used sites for the UK, really. You guys don't have Reverb? Oh, you just said that. You have Reverb online, and there's very limited choices. Really? You guys don't have... Hey, sounds like you got a business opportunity. I know eBay exists, but eBay's really sketchy. I hate to say that. Like, eBay used to be kind of like... Well, to be fair, they've always been kind of sketchy, so... Pancake says, my fingers are double jointed. Do you know anything I could do so that they don't back flip-flop together away? Dude, if you have double jointed fingers and you're having trouble playing guitar, light strings. Get as light as possible. Because the lighter you have to press down, the easier it is. Tony Iommi. We'll pull him up. Do you know Black Sabbath? He had missing fingers. He had to have like a thing on his fingertips. Yeah, check this out. Look out! He had his fingertips missing on his fretting hand, which is his right hand. So if you have to press down really light, otherwise something could like fall off essentially, or if you're double jointed, get some light strings like he did. That way it's easier to press down. You don't have to go as much force. You can also detune. That's what he did too. He played with really light and detuned strings. So. Get yourself some light strings on your guitar. Is it an acoustic, electric? What do you got? But that's the best thing to do is to really just give yourself the best shot you can. Ben says, did you see my question about the amps? No, I did not. Let me see. I got a lot of people in here. Hold on. A lot of people talking. Actually, 10, 11 people is not a lot, but you know what I mean. Let me see here. Ben says it's a shame there's no good use sites. Want to upgrade from a 6-year-old Line 6 Spider 520 as a practice amp. I love the vibe of the Vox amps, but I wanted to be versatile under two. Oh, dude, if you're looking for an amp under $200, that's better than the Line 6. You're not gonna probably find anything. There is the what's it called? The what's the one from Roland? The Boss Katana. The Boss Katana is a great amp, but it's not really too much of a better upgrade. And they're going to be about the same in price. Yeah, if you're looking for $200, I don't think it's going to work, man. But the Boss Katana is a great amp, but it's not much better than what you got. It really isn't. It's good, but you're going sideways if you buy that instead of it. If you're looking at Vox amps, though, I'll tell you what, the AC15, you can find those everywhere. Or AC15, sorry. I put AV. The AC15 is phenomenal. You can find those used for like $500 around there. Hold on, let me go to used. You can find these everywhere. Relevance low to high. Here we go. Yeah, see, here's a used Vox AC15 for $400, man. $450, $460, $480, $480. They're an incredible amp, but it's basically you get a really good clean, you get a really good classic rock distortion. You're going to have to probably get some pedals and stuff like that to really get the effects to match your Line 6. But I'm going to tell you right now, they sound phenomenal. If you want to hear a demo of what a Vox sounds like, I have like, now obviously since this is my computer, you're going to think, okay, well that's just a digital model of it. No, it sounds pretty damn close. So here, I'll pull something up. I'm going to get my Strat. Yeah, I'm going to get my Strat. If you want to hear it, they're really good, dude. They're really good. I use a Princeton on the show, so that's the amp I like to use. But let's see here. Let's get you a Vox. Let me pull this up. Go to British. Ampeg. Nope. Amplitude. Here we go. It's a little too distorted. Hold on, let me get another one. A little too distorted, in my opinion. Where's the Vox? Here we go. There we go. There's the Vox. See, it's got a really kind of a beautiful chiminess to it. Let me turn it up a little bit more. Get a little bit more of that brilliance. It's a good amp, dude. I like Voxes. My buddy Steve used to only play Voxes. That's all he would play. Phenomenal amps for the money. You can handle some distortion, things like that. But as far as pedals go, I think they get a little distorted. So if you're like looking at reverbs, you want to use the reverb that's built on, things like that. So you get a distortion. But it's really cool. It's got this kind of chiminess to it, so to speak. But they're great amps. I really like them. If you can save up for a Vox AC15, you'll be happy. I promise you. They're really loud, too. They get distorted pretty quick, but they're pretty loud. So definitely check out. Just go to a shop. Sit down, look at a Vox AC15. Or look at some of the Fender amps. Fender has some tube amps that are really good. I like those. Let me see here. Ben says, any opinions on the Vox Valvetronics V20X? I don't know. Let me take a look at it. Let's look at it together. The Valvetronics stuff was pretty good. The effects are pretty nice. But again, you're going sideways. You want to go up. You want to go up from what you got. You said a VT or a V20X? Is that the silver grill? No, the black grill. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be much better than what you got, man. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not really going nuts. Ben says, I don't really need loudness. I don't gig. You don't play with a drummer? Ooh, if you want something that's just more exciting, it sounds better, and you don't need it to be too loud, I mean, I'm trying to think of a more inexpensive amp. That's like, you said $200, man? That's the thing. That at that price range, you're not really looking at anything that's going to be better than the... You said you had a V20 Line 6? Is that what you said you had? The 5? Yeah, if that's the one you got, that's the limited one. I mean, objectively, there's a lot of amps that are better. Yeah, that's got the small speaker, too. That's got the 8-inch speaker, really tiny guy. And, yeah, this is the thing I criticize. This is why I always recommend the Mustang over this amp. It's because there's no screen. It's not that you need a screen, but it's just better for tuning, better for seeing your ideas. So it's really interesting how that works. Honestly, man, you might want to trade that in for the Big Brother to the Line 6. What's the one that's above that? The Line 6 Spider 50? Is this the 240? Yeah, the one with the screen, man. This has the bigger speaker. It has a 12-inch speaker, I think. Let me look at the specs. Where's the speakers? Oh, it's a 1x8. Oh, it is a smaller speaker, too. Nah, you want the bigger speaker, man. But I mean, this is the objectively better amp, but Yeah, the reason it's better is because screen. You can see what you're doing. You can save things better. You have more options. But yeah, if you got the other one, I don't know, man. But we got Rachel, who says, "Hey Pat, I have an amp question. Probably stupid. No, don't worry about that. But can I use any guitar with a Fender company amp? Yes, I will. That's actually a really interesting question. So let me show you guys something. If you don't know anything about amps, Fender amps, the tube amps specifically, they actually do have a little bit of an interesting thing with them. So let's look at this deluxe vintage reissue, the deluxe reverb. So does anybody want to look at this? Does anyone see anything weird about this amp? Why are there two inputs? What's up with that? Why are there two inputs? Actually, there's four. What's up with that? Why are there more than one input? That's weird. Can you play two guitars through it, four guitars through it at the same time? Well, here's the joke. When guitars came out, everybody was still trying to figure out what did what and how. It was very kind of experimental. So the first input right here is the high output. So it's like much more aggressive for Fender guitars. But if you have the second output or the input right there, it's usually a lower output. So it's a little bit cleaner sounding. So if you have humbuckers on like a Gibson or something, you could put it in the second one and then it would be a little bit lower. Isn't that interesting? So you could plug two guitars into it. You really could. But one's going to be a lot quieter than the other. And you could also do something. You could daisy chain it too. You could plug one into here and then one in here and then take that cable and plug it over here. It's really weird how old amps were. But most modern amps are going to have that. So Arma says, is a Fender Mustang V2 good for $50? Take it. Take it. You got it, man. Go ahead, grab it. You found something good. You go grab it. The newer ones are better, but dude, if you're looking, go grab it. You found something good. Good job, Armis. Yeah. So, but if you're looking at the more modern Fender amps, like the Mustangs and the MG whatevers and I don't know, the Frontmans, they only have one. They only have one input. Yeah, they only got the one. So you could plug a Fender, a Gibson, an Ibanez, whatever you want into it. You could just kind of make your little adjustments to make it sound good. Kat says, hey, Pat, sorry for bothering. You should be. I'm very upset. You're asking me a question on my question show. No, I'm just kidding. It says, please wish me luck because tomorrow I'm going for my second ever music hanging out, and I'm kind of nervous. I'll make a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. It's part of the process. Don't even worry about it. I got a piece of advice for you. If you're going to play music with somebody, the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is just see if you like them. See if you guys fit together musically. So that's it. Don't worry about playing bad or playing good or if they're bad or they're good or whatever it is. Just see if you like them. Make a friend. Play some music. You know what I mean? Vital says, I love my deluxe reverb, but it can knock the roof off the house. Is it worth the money, albeit expensive? Dude, I love deluxe reverbs. That is one of my favorite amps of all time. They are very loud. If you're trying to get a good amp that's like not that quiet, I mean, this is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I think software might be better for you because you can get a really good. Let me show you some. Pal. I'm gonna get my window capture here. If you can afford to get a deluxe reverb, maybe buy one used. That way you don't lose money if you have to sell it. I'm always a champion of buying used. But I'll tell you this, they are very loud. You can get them down to a quiet, and it's like, okay, that sounds good. I like it. But yeah, it's going to be very, very loud. They can get loud, I should say. But if you want to get something that sounds as good, I mean, really just as convincingly good, you can get software now. That's just incredible. I have my Ableton program, which is what you're listening to, through my microphone and stuff. And you can get like a software like Amplitude. And they have in it, for example, I have a Princeton setting that I can just go to at any moment in time. Phenomenal. Check this reverb out. This is the most convincing spring reverb I've ever heard in my life. I love it. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just some guy on the internet. But listen to this. Let me turn off this. I have a noise suppressor on there, so you'll hear that. Let me turn that off. Let's get some this wonderful vibrato. Oh, you bought one already. You got a power soak. Oh, you got a power attenuator? You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. But I think software has come a long way. When I was a kid, when people were trying to, amp software, amp modeling is good. It was not good at the time. It was okay, but it wasn't this. Let's get some real reverb on there. Let's just crank it. You get that kind of... Isn't that great for a computer? Splatty. That sounds like a spring reverb. Are you kidding me? It's got the... Such a good... Oh, it's incredible. And then you can just click a button. Let me put it this way. I used to own a Princeton. I loved it. It sounds great. But they are so obnoxiously loud when you want it to sound good. It'll shake a house. So I was like, you know what? I could have a $1,000 amp, or I can have a program that I already own and just use that with my headphones. And then when I want to go to shows and stuff, I'll just use my I have a EVH 5150 that I already own too for the distortions. I'll just use that. So, yeah, but if you already got a power attenuator, dude, you're fine. I thought you were asking me, is it worth it to buy a deluxe reverb? And I was like, dude, you got to get one. They're great, but if you're worried about being loud, it's pretty brutal. So. Am I wrong? That sounds so good. Oh, it just completely changed my mind about it. So that's all I got to say about software now, and it's only getting better. It's only that's the old one. That is the old version. That's like 5 years old now, which is not the worst. Ben says, Patrick, you're gnarly, by the way. Hey, you're pretty gnarly. Thank you so much, buddy. I hope you find the equipment you need. Definitely watch reviews. Don't take just my word for it. Go do some research on what equipment you think sounds good or is right in your price range. Look at used stuff. Go look around. You'll find something. So. Such a great amp, dude. I love him so much. Ben says, you remind me of Dave Grohl. Have you heard that before? No, never. No, I've heard it all the time, dude. No. It's actually banned on my other channel, my main channel. Hey, make sure you subscribe to my main channel. I'll be going on there in about 45 minutes, right around there. 45 minutes, I'll be on my other channel. It's just Patrick Gnarly. And I play music there, and I don't do as many questions and things. But if you want to see me play Everlong or something like that, my hero, go check it out. It's out there. Alex says, do you watch anime? I've seen anime. I know what it is. Cowboy Bebop, incredible show. Phenomenal show. Berserk, phenomenal show. FLCL, Fooly Cooly, great show. Do I love anime? Not really. There's a lot of anime that's trash. There's a lot of people that watch anime that are trash. But it's a lot of good stuff in it, but most of it's terrible. So, Rachel says, don't you literally have a shirt that says not Dave Grohl? Yeah, I do. I have a shirt with my face on it that says not Dave Grohl. I'll pull that up. Hold on. It's pretty funny. I had to make one. Let me pull this up. See if I can find it. There's a lot of really funny ones. So, One Piece is peak. Alex says, I don't know, man. I've only seen a couple episodes, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. So I never really got super into it. So, all right, so we got the Patrick Gnarly merch store here, if you guys want to see it. There's a bunch of shirts that I make, but I want to show you guys the Dave Grohl one. It should still be there somewhere. So let me just make this pretty small so we can see all the shirts. There we go. We got a Burger King funny one right there. So let's see if we can find the Dave Grohl one. It might still be up. I might have taken it down because I thought nobody liked it. I can't remember. Let's see here. All products. Here we go. All products. I think it was up. I think I moved some stuff. Yeah, it might not be up anymore. What episode did I watch? You think I remember that? I said I watched a couple of the first episodes. I don't know which one I stopped on, but I mean, if after like 5 episodes it doesn't hook you, then it's not there. Oh, Akira's great too. The movie. That's a fantastic anime. Let me see if I can find it. I gotta log in, and it's very annoying. So give me a second here. Fourth wall. Log in. Because I might have discontinued it. Because there are very few sales. I was like, all right, no reason to keep that up there. See if I can find it. It's pretty funny. See products. Let's see here. Where's the what are they called? Discontinued ones. Should show it. This is always exciting to see somebody do something off screen you can't see. Oh, I don't see it anymore. Where did I put it? I might have done so. It doesn't matter. It used to be up there. I'll post it. Alex said, hey, Alex, I appreciate you for talking about anime. I really don't. But we're talking about guitar, music, and streaming, by the way. I know you're trying to talk about One Piece and spread the gospel of whatever One Piece is about, but we're not really here to talk about anime that you want to talk about. Sorry, man. I was like, I like it. It's okay. But yeah, I don't really know. You're basically talking to a brick wall right now. Did anybody else watch anime? Anybody else an anime fan? Does anyone want to talk about anime? I'm not. Sorry, man. We're talking about guitar, music, streaming, that kind of thing. That's what I know. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I know. It's hard reading. Reading's difficult. I know. It's pretty brutal. But just enjoy your One Piece. Ben says it's a very specific niche for people because people wanting to buy it, it looks like Dave Grohl. Haha. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the bit. I don't know where I put it, though. Maybe it's still up somewhere. Maybe I have it on a different thing, but it doesn't matter. Let's see here. Any other questions about amps, guitars, music? Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Share my opinion. Let you know. Because I know that we were talking about amps for a while, which was pretty cool. I never get to talk about amps on here. Usually talk about guitars. And I have more. There's 3. Let me explain something. There's 3 types of guitar players. There's 3 types. There's 3 types of guitar players. The first type that I know the most of is guitar players that collect guitars. They usually have a bunch of guitars. And they usually have like maybe 1 or 2 amps and a couple pedals. Not many, not too many. And then the second type is somebody who buys like 1 guitar and has like 15, 20 amps. And they have a couple pedals, things like that. And then the third type is the pedal guy. So they have 1 guitar, maybe 2 or 3 guitars, maybe 2 or 3 amps, but then they have like 150 pedals. My friend Steve, he owned probably like 3 guitars. He had 2 amps, but he had probably like 50 pedals. It was nuts. You've never seen an amp collector? They're usually the rarest because they're more expensive and they take up the most room. But there are amp collectors out there. I've seen them. But they're very heavy and they're very just complicated. They typically are recording studio guys. Anybody who has a recording studio, they'll have like a wall of amps and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the most common guitar player type of the 3 is the guitar collector. They'll buy like 12, 15, 30 guitars. They all sound almost exactly the same. They sound like a guitar. Yes, there's little subtle differences, but they all sound like a guitar. You close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to know which one's which. But there's definitely people out there that just collect amps, and they'll have like a wall of amps. They'll have something like this. Here, I'll pull it up. They'll have something like this. And it's very funny because, again, I've only met one person, and, again, it was at a recording studio. And they'll just have like a ton of amps. So they'll have like a wall. So just look at this guy. Look how many amp heads he has. That's crazy. He has a bunch of pedals back there too, actually. That's pretty funny. But I don't know who this is. I just saw a picture of it. So it's very funny how that works. But yeah, it's guitar people, pedal guys, and then amp people. That whole thing. So let's see here. CM says, any advice for learning new songs on guitar? What do you need help with? What's the difficult part? What's the difference? What are you trying to do? Let's see here. Ben says, I've been using a guitar cable for a year that buzzes at certain angles, and I'm still yet to replace it. Oh yeah, just get a new guitar cable, dude. They're like $15 at the most. Yeah, just go grab one. I just replaced a guitar cable recently. Colt says, I'm the basic guy with 3 good guitars, a Helix, and a set of PAs. Interesting. So you're like the anti-amp guy. You have like a couple guitars. I mean, I'm all for digital amps. I use a digital amp on my show, like this. That's a digital amp. Sounds great for recording. Like if you use headphones or your computer, I mean, it's so easy just to be like, I don't like how this amp sounds. Because like, let me put it this way. Let me turn off the amp. That's how it sounds. That electric guitar sounds terrible without an amp. Sounds so lifeless. But if you get an amp, a pretty damn good amp, you're just like... And then at any moment in time, you can just press a button, and now you're doing like... What is that setting, dude? I like pressed the button. I was like random. I was like, hey, this will be good. Let me see here. We got a slash setting apparently in this. Let's do the slash, the angry. Sounds really muffled. But if you like don't like that setting, you just press a button. And you just get a different setting like that. That's pretty cool. What is this? This is the line 6 setting. That's so funny. I haven't checked out most of these settings, but this is my default. And this is the other default that I have. Much louder. Anyways, point I'm trying to make here is you click a button, you get a whole bunch of different settings. You don't have to lug anything around and stuff like that, so it's nice. That was really funny to have like a bunch of effects. Just be like, hey, we're terrible sounding. Good job showing people what this sounds like. Ha! But, yeah, CM, you're trying to get your fingers on the right frets and strings without buzz. Oh, you're not talking about learning guitar like to play a song. You're like fundamentals, man. You got to get the finger strength. You got to get the dexterity. You got to get the knowledge. That's pretty funny. Yeah, if you're learning guitar, dude, you're just going to have to, like, sit down, get your guitar set up, first of all. Like, have you ever gotten your guitar set up, yes or no? You're going to say no. Have you ever gotten your guitar set up? You got to get it set up, dude. It's like getting into somebody's car and, like, you're too far away from the steering wheel. You got to move that seat. Get the seat all the way good to go, and then you're driving your car. You can see over the steering wheel. If you've never got your guitar set up, you're not going to be playing it well. I have my guitar set up perfectly for me. It's so easy to play. Ben says, how do I connect guitar to the computer? You have to get something called a interface. Here, I'll show you what that looks like. So let me pull this up. We'll go back to the browser. Oh, not guitar. Interface. Images. PC. We need a, what's it called? What's the Scarlett? That's the most common one everybody has. So this is an interface. It's a little box that you buy. It's like $200, $300, something like that. $100 if you're more frugal. And if you look, it has a microphone input, and it has a 3/4 or a quarter. Is it 3/4? Jack for guitars. And this is a really inexpensive one. I wouldn't recommend this one. But what this does is you plug in your mic, you plug in your guitar, and then it turns your analog electric signal to a digital signal so your computer can understand it. So what you do is you plug in to your computer, and then you have a signal. I use two interfaces actually, so I can hear myself properly and there's no delay and things like that. So, yeah, if you want to buy an interface, you could plug your guitar into your computer and then you can record like that. Of course, you got to get a program to actually have the amps and stuff like that. But if you want to plug in to get this kind of, you got to get an interface. But like I said, you can get one for like $100, $200, right around there. And the Scarlett is the most common one. Everybody uses it. They're all over the place. So Ben says, do you have a Harley Benton SC? No, I do not. I only have the SG looking double cut. But I'm sure it's pretty good. I can't imagine it being bad. I mean, I wanted to try one out. I just haven't bought one yet. I haven't really had the desire to. But yeah, if you guys are trying to plug into your computer, get an interface. There's one I would actually recommend. Let's do that. The Volt. The Volt interface is what people like. I've never used one. I know the people that I used to work with before. They used to do audio equipment stuff. They were more into the recording software. They used Volts all the time. So apparently this is, who makes this? Universal Audio. Universal Audio, they're a respected company. People like them. The Volt. There's one that has a built-in compressor that's apparently really good. The 111, what is it? I can't remember which one it is. There's one that has a built-in compressor. Hold on. Which one is it? Is it this one? The 176? I can't remember which one it is. See, this is where I like top out in my recording equipment knowledge, because I don't buy a ton of stuff for recording equipment, but I just remember people liking the Volt a lot. So if you can get the one with the built-in interface, that's the one people really like. But the Volt is apparently a fantastic little box you can get. Let's just see, actually. Let me go to Sweetwater. We'll see if there's a Volt. Universal Audio Volt something. And you want to get something with at least two inputs. That way you can do a vocal and a guitar, or you can have a guitar and a bass, something like that. You just want at least one. You want at least two. I have one that has four because I have vocal, guitar, and I also have my other microphone, and I have another microphone. So Ben says, I've never understood what a compressor does. Essentially what a compressor does is it takes the loud stuff and squishes it down so that it's not as loud. And it takes the quiet stuff and squishes it up so that it's louder. So it makes things sound more even. So if you've ever noticed when you're like talking to somebody, sometimes they'll get really loud, and sometimes they'll get really quiet. In real life, you don't really need that much volume when you're talking to somebody because your ears kind of get used to things. But when something gets really loud out of nowhere, it can startle you. It can like freak you out. So you really want the dynamics, the loud louds and the quiet quiets to be kind of squished. You don't want it to be like completely flat, but you want it to be pretty close to each other. So that's as far as I know. So Ben says, so you can play your guitar softly without it being really quiet. Yeah, but guitar is kind of a little bit different. It's more for vocals. Like I'll give you an example. I'm going to get further away from my microphone. And I'm going to talk over here. You can probably still hear me okay. And then as I get closer, it should be much louder. I'm going to go to my thing, and I'm going to turn off my compressor. So this is how it sounds. See, it's like really quiet. And if I get kind of far away, it should be almost not audible. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of a compressor. So it's supposed to take the louds, because I'm like really close to the mic. It's supposed to really kind of just make it more tolerable. But I mean, you could use it for anything. You can use it for guitar. You can use it for drums. You can use it for a bass. Compression is really interesting. I still don't fully understand it. I just know what it does. That's like saying, like, I know how a car works. Like, I know the concept of a car, but I don't actually know every piece of the chain. So it's pretty funny how that works. So, surely you don't need multiple inputs for vocals. Why not? You just need one, but you might have a second one. How are you supposed to play guitar and sing? What if you want to play bass with somebody? You know, what if you want to play guitar with somebody? You're playing guitar, somebody else has a guitar. Don't you want to have at least two, just in case? What if, check this out, what if you get an acoustic? Let me get my acoustic out. And you have one microphone, like my vocal mic here, and then you get another microphone down here. Check this out. So this is 2 microphones. And now I'll turn off the acoustic mic. Where did all that volume go? You know? And I'll turn off the main mic. And I'll just use this microphone. So this is the acoustic mic. Yeah, it helps to have 2. I think at the bare minimum you want 2. If you only have 1, you're like kind of stuck, and then you have to buy another interface later. So, I mean, you did need a mic. I mean, I'm not singing right now. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you want something for the guitar and you want something for the vocals just in case, or if there's a second guitar. You know what I mean? Because like if your mic's not placed where it needs to be, it's just going to be quieter. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So you want at least 2, just in case in the future. But if you plan on being a hermit for the rest of your life and also only spending the less than the bare minimum, you're going to pay for it eventually. Because what's going to happen is somebody's going to come over eventually. Someone's going to come over and they're going to go, hey, man, should we jam? And you go, yeah, let's record something. And then you're going to go, oh, I only have 1 input. And they're going to go, okay, we'll just take turns. And then you're going to be like, damn, Patrick was right. I should have got something with 2 inputs. So, dang it. I found a vocalist, and now we have to take turns every time. This is going to take twice as long. I should have just spent the extra $50. You know what I mean? Trust me. I've had situations like that where I went to somebody's house or I hung out with somebody and they only had 1 interface, 1 input, and I was like, this is a huge waste of time. Anyways, but yeah, that's what an interface does. You want to get at least 2 inputs, in my opinion. Yeah, at least 1 microphone and 1. I would not get a quarter. There's one that's there's some of those that only have a 1/4-inch jack. You want to get the ones with the 3. That's the one you want. Yeah, because if you get the because these actually have a guitar. That's actually a guitar one too. You actually put the guitar in the center one. It's pretty interesting. So you put the guitar. Right here. You put the guitar in the middle, or you can put a microphone in there. So it's like, oh, I got options. Because you don't want to get the one from, what's it called? Scarlett. I always forget. There's a Scarlett one where it's like just guitar, and it's like, ugh. That's not a good system. Yeah, like, I think this one. Yeah, see this guy? You can get a microphone input that is that, but you don't really want to. You want the 3. That's the one you want. So, anyways. But yeah, that's my little spiel about interfaces. Anyone else have a question? You guys got who? I see a lot of people watching. It's just me and Ben having a conversation. You guys pop in at any time. We're talking about guitar, music, streaming. Tap that screen if you guys are getting some information. You're enjoying the show. I like to do the show before I play music to kind of offer some insight and give my opinion about things. Because every time I play music on my main show, every person in the Patrick, how do you get this? Why are you supposed to do this? Where'd you get that string? You know what I mean? Just go check it out. Yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. You're out there. You're watching. Jake says, what kind of string conditioner do you use? I don't use one. My hands don't sweat, and my strings stay pretty fresh. But I have seen people use fast fret, and it kind of does work. It really does. But I think, in my opinion, a fresh set of strings kind of does the job. But if you have sweaty hands, your strings get all nasty, and it can kind of slow you down just based off of friction. You know, if there's more gunk, if there's things in there that aren't supposed to be in there, you're really slow. Whether fast fret is worth it or not, I don't think it is. But if you want to try it out, it exists. There's a thing out there. Let me pull it up. Fast fret. It's like a little bar. Yeah, it's this guy. It's like an oily, kind of waxy, gooey stuff. It goes on your strings, and you kind of go like this. It makes it go really fast. So, I mean, but again, I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Some people like it. Give it a shot. You let me know if you like it. I don't use it though. My strings last a long time. I don't have to really get anything like that. So, but apparently people like it. But yeah, I don't use any string conditioner. Fretboard conditioner though, I do use that. You want to make sure your fretboard is hydrated. And you want to make sure it's got the proper oils and stuff too, because what'll happen is your fretboard will start cracking and it'll start getting really dry, and then the neck will start to get like really weird shaped. So, for example, I use Guitar Honey. Guitar Honey. Where is it? Hold on. Not that. I just typed in honey. That'll do it. Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Do they not sell it here? Sweetwater, what are you doing? Is it in accessories? All right, hold on. I got to get off of Sweetwater. I don't see it. What hair conditioner do I use? Ask your girlfriend or wife or mom. She'll know. Everyone's like, "Shut up, moron." All right, let's see if I can find the Guitar Honey. Where is it, dude? Do they not have it online? Where is it? I'll have to go to, I got to go Google. Google will show me. There it is. I found it immediately. Why was that taking so long? Yeah, here it is. There's a bottle. It's like red. I've used this for like literally 20 years. I have like the same 2 bottles. You just spray it on your fretboard and it makes it nice and dark, and it works really well. So it looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Makes it really conditioned, and yeah, because like I said, if your fretboard starts to crack or something like that, it's going to cause problems long term. So WD says, "I'm a long-haired guy too." Okay, you get no hate from me. Just had to ask. Well, you should know. We have to take care of our hair, man. Can you imagine somebody had long hair and it looked terrible? It's not a great experience. Zoe says, "I use Aussie, but it depends on your hair type." I like how Zoe had to pop in and be like, "Actually, I know what a good brand is." Shout out to Zoe. There you go. Is anybody who's got long hair in the chat? Everyone got long hair? Here's a real question for you. Who's got? Why is it that guitar players typically have long hair? What's up with that? I have a theory on this. Here, you guys want to hear my theory on why guitar players tend to have long hair? So, the hippie movement, right? So you had like a lot of rock and roll in the early days. Because if you think about it, the 50s, like the rock and roll that was like Buddy Holly, you didn't really have long hair. You know what I mean? They were just kind of clean cut. Let me look at Buddy Holly. Like the real Buddy Holly, not the song. Like this guy did not look like a rock and roll guy. Look at this nerd. Does that look rock and roll to you, man? I don't think so. I think, here's my theory. Back when like the hippie movement and a lot of people started growing their hair out, their beards out and stuff, a lot of rock and roll was part of that group, and then it became kind of part of its identity. But also, in my opinion, maybe people that tend to be more emotional about their music, they feel things deeper. They're a little more impulsive. They have things that affect them. I think that typically they kind of have their hair a little bit longer. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who is more emotional has long hair. Obviously, that's not true. There are definitely people that are emotional that are bald. But I will tell you this. Conversely, on the other side, you look at the other end of the spectrum, people that tend to be tough guys, right? The masculine kind of thing. A masculine haircut. What do people typically look like when they have a masculine haircut? It's either really short, like almost military, or they're bald. You know what I mean? Maybe like the whole testosterone thing. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about this, but typically, if you're balding or if you are bald, you're a bit older, and maybe there's there's some credence to that. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, a lot of musicians tend to have long hair. They still have their hair, like in their 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. I don't know. Is it everybody? No, of course not. Of course not. Is it a stereotype? Absolutely. I'm part of that. In fact, hold on, let me show you what we got here. Look at this guy. This guy look familiar? What about this guy? Hold on. What about this guy? You know this guy? Phil X? What's going on there? What about this guy? You guys know this guy? Eddie Vedder? What's going on there? Long hair. Look how old he is. I don't know what it is. Something about being a musician and having long hair. Something about it. A lot of musicians. A lot of musicians. Hold on. Let me look up rock and roll. Look up hairstyle. I looked up rock and roll hairstyle. Let's pull this up. We got it's a lot of ladies in there. I'll type men. You don't notice that you type in hairstyle, typically it defaults to excuse me. Hold on a second. What's up with the pompadour? What's going on here, dude? We got the Elvis. What do these look like? They're AI, dude. Some of these look really bad. Yeah, I don't know if that's rock and roll. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, well that's really funny. But we got that one. We got this guy. I think when I typed rock and roll, they probably thought like rockabilly. That's probably what it is. What if I put rock hairstyle? Okay, now it's all punk rock. That's really funny. Well, there you go. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for everybody. But again, I think there is some sort of correlation. There's a correlation between having long hair, being a musician, being a little bit counterculture, being a bum, being a hippie, being one of those artist people, having long hair, having crazy hair. Something about it. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to bring that up because it is kind of a thing, Oftentimes when people, like I'll meet people, at a grocery store or something like that. Like I'm getting a root canal recently. And the doctor was like, so what do you do for a living? And I was just like, I do music. And they're like, oh, really? That's your job? I'm like, yeah, can you tell by the hair? And they're like, makes sense. I was like, yeah. Yeah, you go Brian May, long hair. A lot of musicians, long hair. Not all of them. Again, it's not everybody. I'm not encompassing every human being on the planet. There's obviously short-haired musicians. But a lot of rock and roll guys, long hair. I mean, even in the 80s. Kind of in the 80s, that was a thing too, if you think about it. In the 80s, there was like a whole hair metal. You know what I mean? So if you think about it, it never really went away. I have a prediction, though. I think because for so long, people have been having these hairstyles and really kind of going crazy with the hairstyles. I think that what's going to happen is that being bald is going to be like in vogue pretty soon. I've already been seeing it. There's like a bunch of places on the internet that are talking about like taking the plunge. Like people that are balding, they're like just shaving their heads, which that's normal. That's been going on for a while. But I think that being bald is going to be like in the next 5 years, maybe. In the next 5 years, I think being bald is going to be like cool. Because if you think about it, for years, a lot of people would make fun of bald people, right? Remember when, check this out, I'll give you an example. Hold on. Remember when nerd glasses, people used to make fun of nerd glasses all the time? Like the Buddy Holly kind of thing. And then it became like a style. And then like in the early 2000s and stuff like that. Not early 2000s, the late 2000s, early 2010s. Having like thick rim glasses was cool. I'm telling you, I think being bald, and that's not me like saying anything like if you're bald, you're not cool. I'm saying that I think it's going to happen. Jake says, does that mean no eyebrows too? I don't know, dude. Maybe. I got some thick eyebrows, dude. I got some woolly bears on my face. I don't know what's going on. Did anyone notice this too? Hold on. I'm going to do a close-up. On me. Check this out. Did anyone notice this? This is 100% true. My beard is black. My hair is brown. What's up with that? Since I could grow facial hair, my beard has been black. I get red hairs too. and gray hairs now. It's so weird. I don't know what happened genetically, but that's been my entire life, dude. My entire life. People think I dye my hair. Not true. No, not true. It's not. That's not what I do. Think about it. I'd have to do every. Well, look here. Hold on. I'll pull this up. It gets darker here, and then it just turns to black. Isn't that funny? I will admit this though. I do get some gray in my beard, and so I do have to dye like a little bit of my beard because it looks really distracting. But I have to buy black dye because it's just the one spot. So full disclosure. But the entire beard. What's up with that? That's some genetics, baby. Yeah, usually I get what is affectionately called a racing stripe. Like it's on this side. Usually I'll get it right there. So it's very distracting if I don't dye it. So but yeah, no, brown hair, black, and you'll see some red in there too. So it's like, what is up with genetics? I don't get it. What's going on with that, man? Yeah, it's pretty common to have multiple colors in your hair. Yeah, I think so. Zoe says, it looks good, Pat. Thank you. It would have been really funny if you're like, it looks like shit, dude. Cut it off. Cut it off! Stop it! Just cut it off, dude. That's the worst, man. You ever try something new? You ever like hang out with people like, hey guys, check out my new haircut, or hey, check out my my new shirt, and people are like, yo, dude, throw that in the trash. Not you, dude. That's not you, mate. That's not you. So throw it in the bin. Bin it. Get it out of here. There is a picture of me bald. I had photoshopped, and I thought it looked pretty convincing. I'll see if I can find it. I think it's on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it. Pull it up. Can I just look at Instagram without logging in, please? Don't you hate it when you get to a website and it's like, oh, you want to see this person's stuff? You have to log in. It's like, psh, get out of here. Come on! Oh, screw you, Instagram. Whatever. I'll see if I can find it on my phone. Fart. All right, hold on. We'll find this. There we go. Look at my profile. See if I can find a picture of me bald. It'd be pretty funny. But again, if you guys got questions, I think we got time for one more question. Then I got to get off, take a break for a little bit. And then I got to tell you something. If you guys thought yesterday was going to be a crazy show, just wait for just wait. We're going to be doing something special for this night. And tomorrow night. John, I know you're used to talking to your mom and getting whatever you want, but no requests. And we're talking about music. We're talking about guitar. We're talking about streaming. We're not doing whatever you want. Sorry. Go talk to your mom if you want someone to do something for you. All right, let's see here. I think I got it. Hold on. This is in the right era. Let's see here. All right. I see some pictures. Nope, not there. I see some food from Instagram. That was always a pretty fun thing to do. Take a picture of what you're eating. As if everybody cares. Nope. Come on, man. Where's the picture of me bald? I don't have it here. This is the second time I said I have something, and now I can't find it. All right, let's take one more look. Let's do a search. Isn't it weird if you do a search on your phone? Oh, I found it. We got it. I found it. We got it. All right. So I'll show you a picture of me bald. Isn't that good? I think it's a pretty good Photoshop. You like it? That's me bald, baby. I look like the guy from Binging with Babish. All right, good. She's finally found peace in her suffering. Get out of here. Got his ass. Got him. Please don't go bald. Wow, brutal. You know what's funny is I posted that online, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think? And anybody who said it looked good, I was like, you're a liar. We're not friends anymore. I'll take it. That means you're being honest. I will take honesty. I will take honesty. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Any other last minute questions? Anything else anybody's got? Because after this, I got to get off of here. Zoe says, I like your hair. It looks good. I'm not going to get rid of it. Trust me. It took me another year to get it back to this length because I cut it because I had to get a different job for a little bit. And then I obviously the streaming thing took off. But, and I was like, damn it. I shouldn't have cut my hair. So it took me a year to get back to this length. So I think I have to cut it a little bit. I have to like layer it because it keeps getting in my mouth while I'm singing now, which is like, I don't want that. I look like Bane, dude. Hold on. You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light till I was already a man. Layers would look good. All right, Zoe's convincing me. Yeah, because I had to. You know what? You can just look at the Instagram. You can see all my old hairstyles and stuff. It's on there. Jake says, anyone else notice they didn't get tie jams as adults? What's a tie jam? What is that? Toe jam. Ew! Oh, you misspelled it. I was like, what's a tie jam? Ew, Jake. Can we get some ews in the chat? Ew! That's gross, dude. I've never even seen that. I'm going to Google that real quick. Okay, well, nothing really scary popped up. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Yeah, the video game mostly pops up. That's fun. All right, well, anyways, I got to get off here, you guys. You guys got 15 minutes left until the main show, which is on my other profile, Patrick Gnarly. If you guys want to go there, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to rest up. And then we got a crazy show tonight. I promise you. We got a crazy show tonight. So if you don't know, I'm going to give you guys a hint because since we got 12 of you, I did find some guitars for us to smash tonight. Woo! This might be the last time we smash guitars in October. So, all right, and maybe I'll be dressing up. Anyways, again, thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys in about 15 minutes on the main channel. Thank you so much for being here and answering some questions or let me say some stuff for you. So, good night until we come back in about 15 minutes. So, I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. See you on the main channel. Just Patrick Gnarly. You'll see it. Bye. Check it in the link in the channel description.